They learned the rule long before they learned the stars across. The spiral arm, the coalition recorded patterns and rituals of survival, and among all the records one line appeared again and again, passed in quiet warnings. Between elders and analysts, and tacticians, we do not eliminate humans. The phrase carried no poetry, no fear, no admiration on the surface. Yet every species that reached the same conclusion did so after loss, after shock, after realizing too late that humans did not behave like the others. The first contact had been calm humanity. It was still young among the interstellar community, traveling in slow, stubborn ships, built with layered metal and redundant systems that looked inefficient to advanced eyes yet endured punishment. That would have shattered elegant designs. The coalition watched and debated. Some argued that humans were harmless, clever mammals, driven by emotion and contradiction. Others noted their alarming adaptability and the way they treated disaster as a challenge rather than a warning. In the end, humanity was catalogued as manageable. That decision lasted 12 cycles. Turning point came at the edge of the gray sector, where a minor power called the Viral Compact attempted expansion. The Compact believed in clean solutions and swift dominance. They mapped human colonies and calculated that removing them early would prevent future complications. Hatred guided them. Only Arithmetica fleet moved in silence toward a frontier world called Haven. With small, lay thin atmosphere, oceans broken by island chains, cities built low and wide with space for growth rather than defense. When the first strike fell, the Compact expected surrender or extinction. What followed instead rewrote doctrine across the stars. The human response was not immediate. No counter fleet appeared, no plea for mercy crossed the void. For 3 days, the planet burned, and for 3 days humans endured hiding beneath oceans and reinforced caverns inside machines that sealed and rerouted power and air again and again. When the bombardment ended, the Compact prepared landing forces. That was when Haven answered. Every satellite still functioning, ignited at once, pouring data across every frequency. Human ships that had fled earlier returned not to fight, but to relay and observe, to learn ground. Based weapons rose from water and stone, not graceful, not efficient, yet relentless. The landing forces were shredded. Compact commanders hesitated, then ordered escalation. They never reached that stage. Human vessels arrived, then not warships in the traditional sense, but carriers, platforms, factories in motion, releasing swarms of craft that acted without central command, adapting to losses, changing formations, turning wreckage into cover. Humans fought like a system rather than an army. By the end of the engagement, the Compact fleet was gone, not destroyed. Gone, captured. Vessels repurposed, crews rescued, treated, healed, questioned, and released. The coalition struggled to understand this choice. Why spare an enemy that had tried to erase them? Human leaders spoke then, not in threats but in statements broadcast openly. We respond to extinction with prevention, not revenge. We do not need you gone, we need you to understand. The message unsettled many. The Compact never attacked another human world. Instead, they became observers themselves, carrying the warning quietly. Years passed, and humanity spread. They failed, often ships were lost, experiments collapsed, colonies starved. Each failure fed the next success. Humans shared data freely, even with rivals, believing that survival improved when knowledge moved. Some species called this naive, others recognized it as confidence. The next crisis came from within the coalition. An internal schism turned violent when resource worlds became leverage. A faction called the Order sought control through fear. They targeted human trade lanes, believing disruption would bring concessions. The Order underestimated memory. Human convoys did not retreat. They reorganized civilians, trained alongside pilots, engineers alongside medics, every role overlapping. Every person capable of becoming something else when needed. When Order forces seized a station, humans cut power. Remotely sealed corridors vented only where necessary and walked through vacuum with suits patched from salvage. They retook the station room by room. Not killing unless forced, disabling, capturing, containing. The Order broadcast threats. Humans responded by restoring life support for everyone, including their captors. The conflict ended without spectacle. The Order collapsed under pressure from allies who no longer trusted them again. The coalition asked why humans chose restraint. A human delegate named Eli explained calmly, because extinction is a door that only opens one way, and we refuse to be the ones who walk through it. This answer spread farther than any fleet, became the rule. Do not eliminate humans, because if you try, you teach them something they will never forget. Because if you succeed, you lose something the galaxy needs. As time moved on, humans took roles others avoided. They explored unstable regions, negotiated between enemies, rebuilt shattered ecosystems. They did not do this from purity. They did it because they remembered Haven and every other place that had nearly vanished. Human culture absorbed the lesson deeply. Children learned history not as conquest, but as survival stories, focused on endurance, on finding light after loss, on choosing to build again. The galaxy watched humanity age into its presence, no longer new, no longer underestimated. A distant extragalactic threat appeared, consuming stars, without communication, without intent beyond growth. Panic spread fleets, gathered weapons, failed defenses. Broke. Humans listened. They studied the pattern, not the fear. They noticed pauses in the advance, moments where the consuming force recalibrated dens, sent probes, then messages, then modified signals that mimicked the rhythms of stellar birth. The advance slow, then stopped. The threat diverted, drawn toward uninhabited regions where humans had seeded artificial nurseries of energy designed to satisfy its drive. The galaxy survived, not through annihilation, through redirection. Once more, the rule held. The coalition finally archived a formal statement, authored collectively: humans are not to be eliminated, not because they are invincible, but because they are essential. They adapt where others break. They remember where others forget. And when faced with extinction, they choose prevention over erasure. In quiet halls, elders repeat the warning to new generations. You meet humans, meet them honestly. If you fight them, understand the cost, and if you ever consider wiping them out, remember that the galaxy you save may be poorer for it.